Okay, guys, welcome now. We are now going to do completely the deep dive. This is called funnel seeding. And this is literally what I used to do, how I generated 27.5 million working for the gurus, how I worked with all my own businesses, how I built the largest Facebook group in the world in its niche. It still blows my mind when I say that, and how I constantly keep building Facebook groups. And this is probably why I'm never really that much into sometimes my own profile at the time, because I've done so much faceless off of it. But it all boils down to the same thing. I need you to listen to this. I'm going to show you exactly how this works and how posting is not just about engagement. And I'm going to share and going to show you absolutely everything step by step. And you're going to get a copy of this, the ones who want it. The Academy people, you have all this anyway. So funnels, it's just word sequencing. Everybody knows that. But it begins the first time somebody reads your words, the first time somebody hears your language, the first time somebody sees the phrases, the first time somebody notices our framework. That's where the selling begins. And once this is understood properly, random posting stops. Hands up for the people who have posted before just for the sake of posting. Um, everybody's like, yeah, me, yeah, okay. It stops. Okay, it absolutely stops. Why does it stop? I'm going to show you exactly why it stops, and I'm going to keep sharing so you can read as well as I teach this. I'll go up and down with the screen. So, what does funnel seeding mean? It's conditioning. It's the process of planting ideas early, and it means introducing our language. And it's really easy because you just need to be you, our method, our system before selling anything, right? No pitching, no pressure, just repetition. And by the time an offer appears, like nothing feels new. It feels familiar. It's very similar. If you go through my sales calls, I have all the different sequencing, and that's how you can go through sales calls. You can say the same words over and over again, and depending on your niche, what word I would tell you to say, you could literally close lots of people on the phone. This is why I was booked out in the retreat, why all the gurus' businesses were booked out, why my wedding business and all them were booked out, why I ended up working for the government as well. And it's something I love. I love engineering a result. Okay. I love these things, but I don't just love it on the internet. Like if the tap breaks in my house, okay, I have the money to go and buy lots of new ones. I'll go and turn the water off and go and buy one, and I love to change it. I love how things work. As a child, I was under the car with my dad, fixing the car. My brother was playing with my dollies, okay? And I was under fixing the car with my dad. So I'm telling you this story, right? I didn't plan to tell you this story, but I just told you this story because this is an origin story. Does that make sense? How it naturally comes from me because I not only do I understand the system, but I live the life this way. So I want you to think of how I'm speaking to you and also giving you examples of my life at the same time, which feel natural. And this is what we do in business, funnel seeding. Let me go on. So by the time you offer something to somebody, it's not new, it feels familiar. And it's not like content posting. This isn't like installing like vocabulary into the market. This applies to everyone here, everyone who wants a business, everyone who wants to sell online. Yes, I'm going to give you the whole prompts. Yes, I'm going to make your life so much easier. Yes, you're going to come up with a whole 30-day content thing. Yes, this is going to be like a bomb, especially for the people who are inside the academy and who have access to the AI vault, because this just takes you to the other level. Okay, does that sound good? You never need to think again, but you need to think a little bit. So let me just share. So I'd rather you say what goes on. So I wrote this today, just before I taught this. So this does not matter. This was important to me because some people in my academy, a life coach, a business coach, a music teacher, an eBay seller, a hypnotherapist, a fitness trainer, the structure is identical. If an offer appears without seeds being planted first, the audience feels confused. There is no runway. Okay? Think about it. If you don't plant the seed, the plant doesn't grow. If there's no runway, the plane doesn't take off. If you expect to sell high ticket and you don't spend a long time with people before you try to get lots of money out of them, you're not going to get it. People call them webinars, masterclass challenges. It's just spending time with people. Does that make sense? And if you want to spend a lot of time with people, you need to have a whole sequence, maybe for 2 weeks before you launch something like that. Because you've left the breadcrumbs. You've seeded it, funnel seeded it. Does this make sense? Are we all on the same page so far? Fantastic. I love this stuff, honestly, because it works again, again, and again. Right, let's go on. So if an offer feels confused, right, then the audience is confused. No runway. So when seeds are planted over time, the audience is going to feel like kind of recognition. Recognition reduces friction. Friction kills sales. 3 types of posts. Have a look at these, right? And if the posts are only authority, the audience will see you as intelligent, but distant. And if the posts are only motivational, the audience feels inspired, but nothing. And if the posts are only selling, the audience feels pressure. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Who can have constant selling posts and descriptions? Type into the chat anywhere online that you don't need to do a mixture of posts. You can just have your content, your description, and a link to buy. Anywhere in the chats? Tell me somewhere online, a web page, somewhere you can go where you can just have your description, your content name, your description, and if you do the description cleverly with pattern interrupt and hooks and everything, Amazon. Perfect. So if I go to Amazon, I want to see a nice name. I want to see the description. I can go on to Amazon and I can tell you why people buy them before them, why people buy that before that. The same product, all because of sequencing. Anywhere else? Where do we go? eBay, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, TikTok Shop. So if I go into the supermarket, the store, and somebody tries to sell me something, will I feel offended? Yes or no? Stick it in the chat. If I go into the store and somebody tries to sell me something, will I feel offended? Yes or no? Wow. Everybody said yes, apart from John. John has says no. I'm going to tell you the right answer. The answer is no. John is correct. Diana, no. You could find it intrusive. Then why am I in the supermarket? Why am I in the supermarket? I went into the supermarket to buy. So what do I need? I need the name. What else do I need? Well, these days I need to stick on my glasses to read the labels sometimes on your magnifying glass because the writing is so small. maybe buy certain things. Okay, but that's totally different, Teresa. You know, we go into the store, we go into the shop, we open. What do we expect in there to be sold to? And there's clever ways of doing that, whether it's face to face or whether it's not face to face. Does that make sense? Before we carry on, perfect. So let me carry on. If posts are only selling, your audience will feel pressure. Guys, you can see this now. So you need to reach people. It needs to be simple, relatable, maybe talk about their surface pain. So it could be feeling stuck. For me, maybe not knowing their niche, or they have low engagement, no sales, fear of posting. So very simple things. Imagine, I mean, this is really simple stuff I've put up here, but these types of posts could bring new people in. When I do posts like that, my DMs go mental. So you don't really see me doing a lot of posts like that these last few months, because I have the ones in the academy, I have several different businesses. Okay. So, but if I post stuff like this, then that's like, whoo, people zoom in on that. So think about it. You want people, you want to reach people in the beginning. And then what else do? You want to show them a little bit of authority. So like me, I could say, oh, instead of people needing a better niche, explain that most people do not have a niche problem, they have a decision problem. Now authority is established. So I basically just like kind of taught them something. Now, the people who are in my academy, I talk about educational posts, nurturing posts, and things like this. But this whole class is about funnel seeding up to the point that you want somebody. People use it a lot for launches. And then the seeder. This is the important layer, right? And this is where the method is referenced. And it's not explained fully, okay? Because we seed a lot. So I could say, this sits inside buyer engineering, or this connects to the 39 belief shifts, or this is part of the academy framework. So the people in my academy who are watching me teach this, you know what the 39 belief shifts are, those secret steps, so you know this. But notice something important. There's no pitch here. There's no call to buy happened, but a seed was planted. That is conditioning. Does that make sense so far? I'm dropping seeds, dropping seeds, dropping seeds. Carry on. Music teacher. Students avoid practice because they feel overwhelmed. Right? The authority. Practice fails when structure is unclear. The seeder. This is part of a 5-step practice program. eBay seller. Right? Listings are not getting views. Titles are not written for the search intent. This connects to listing engineering. So I'm going to use this as an example right now, mainly because I have somebody in the academy who's going to either go and do this or do it with me. But so let me take this from the top of my head. Are you trying to sell online on eBay or Etsy, but you're not getting any views? Is that you? It's me, people. They're trying to get the views. Do you know eBay and Etsy things? The titles are not written for search intent. Do you know I was once in a private inner circle room, and the guy who was the largest affiliate marketer for Mr. Tony Robbins, and he has 3 posts on his Instagram, was inside that room, and I know how he did it. Does that sound interesting, guys? What's just come out my mouth? Hands up. It's true. So can you see I've just used authority there? Anybody can use authority. I just used a really big one because it matched that. Again, I just took that. I didn't plan to say it. I just took it from the top of my head because it's much easier for me to use all this amazing psychology, amazing information, how I made the gurus millions, how I've set myself up for life, how I just love now to help people. But it's easier for me to be honest and use my origin stories that just come to my head. Why? See, the more truthful you can be in life and in business, it's easier. Who agrees? Yeah, hands up. Honestly, it really is. So let me carry on here, right? So why the repetition matters? Have I read this? People rarely buy the first time they hear something. They need repetition. I mean, I go through all the studies and stuff like that, but they need repetition. So let's just like keep that as a fact. They need repetition. So when the same framework appears 7 times across 3 weeks, it's normal. So when the live training is announced, the audience does not think, what's that? What are they doing online? They think, oh, I've seen this before. So it reduces fear, fear blocks decisions, and then they feel a little bit more familiar. Guys, the mistake most creators make, and they post value again and again, and then they suddenly like sell. So there's no preparation, there's no build up, there's no planting. How can the plant grow if you didn't water it? You need to seed it. How can the plane take off if there's no runway? Everything is engineered, and the more you realize this, the more you will bring people into your world to buy from you. Now, when, like the complaint appears, like the audience engages, but they don't buy. Some private clients says, oh, the audience engages them, but they don't buy. Then I look at all their stuff. So I'm dealing with several businesses here at the moment where I am, and there's multiple businesses from hotels to retreats, camps, restaurants. I was with a trader the other day, and there's a couple other online ones, accountants and things like that. So I am training, but I am also here where I am in Asia doing separate things. But I need to show you this again to explain something to you, right? The ones who said in a meeting, yeah, my audience is engaging, but they don't buy. This is what I said to them. Your audience was trained to consume, not trained to ascend. Does that make sense? When you're building something faceless like I did, I built the largest Facebook group in the world in its niche. When I built it, I had no intention of monetizing it immediately. So I built it for reach, for value. I didn't build it to take the audience to buy something from me. Does that make sense? And I waited. I bided my time. Makes me laugh when I say this because I knew exactly what I was doing. I planned it. I knew exactly what I was doing. And look how much pay. Come on, guys, 4 years, huh? I waited and waited. And I was just like, oh. And I was going to go last year, and I waited. Thought, 1 more year, 1 more year. I waited. I don't expect anybody to do what I did in 4 years, okay? But I had to beat government groups, government websites, people who've been in business for 20 years. I had to beat them all. So the only way to beat them all was to create the best of the best. Make sense? To create the best of the best, I had to do it with systems. I engineered that audience. You can engineer your audience. Make sense? So let me just carry on here. Now, here's like a simple weekly structure, and I did this, and you can do this like for yourselves. I did this with the retreat. Um, so like a Monday, I would reach out to people. You post a lot more now, but this is just to give you an idea. Monday, you would reach out. Tuesday, you would reach out. Wednesday would be like a bit of an authority. So what was like my authority when I had the retreat? Well, I actually went and studied, accidentally became a yoga teacher because I went to go on a retreat. I didn't read the thing correctly, and it ended up being a 28-day, 200-hour yoga and teacher training in Bali. So that's how I ended up having a yoga qualification. But I was also, when my father, both my parents have passed, but when my father took a stroke and then took cancer, I became obsessed. So I went and studied to be a juice therapist practitioner with the UK Complementary Medical Association. So I was obsessed with nutrition. I was obsessed with the power of plants. So I would leverage my authority at least once a week. Nowadays, if you're posting 3, 4 times a day, one of them needs to be an authority leverage, or you put it in your post, just because the consumption now is a little bit different. But then after I kind of like, well, look at me, you want part of me, again, for something to reach out to them, bring them in. Could be educational, inspirational, nurturing. I just wanted to bring them in. Then again, if I bring them in again, then I can use my authority again and twist it a little bit of how my authority can help them. Okay. So then the whole thing is, I'm constantly all weekend, maybe a couple more posts, putting more seeds out there. And for this for me, it was really simple, structured, and repeatable. And I'm going to give you a content plan. So some advanced layers. So research can be used to extract like real beginner questions, right? So have a look. People have sent me like going to Facebook groups, but you can go in a bit deeper than this, right? I need you to think of the people you want to sell to. And I love the words like serving and helping people, but I do know you want to make money. Okay. Teresa's just put in, what haven't you done, Nicola? Teresa, my life is a very little bit different from the normal person. I'm obsessed with education. That's why I graduated twice and I have like countless qualifications. They wanted to throw me out of school at the age of 17. They told me I would never have come to nothing. Um, oh, it makes me nearly cry saying that. They told me I would never have come to nothing, and they wanted to put me out of school. And my father went down and refused. Okay, so that stayed with me. And this is why I am constantly studying. I mean, my friends here were shouting at me the other day. Everybody was at the pool, and I went, "No, I need an hour because I need to put more stuff in this for my academy people, and I'll meet you in an hour." Because I am so dedicated to my learning and dedicated to giving it to people. Okay, so it's literally an obsessive educator. Plus, remember, I grew up tongue-tied. I still am tongue-tied. So like people used to think I was stupid, but I'm not. um, you don't end up being the CEO to Millionaire Gurus being stupid, do you? Or maybe you do. I don't know. But anyway, coming back in, guys, what confuses people, what frustrates them, and what keeps coming up? Confusion, frustration coming up. Confusion, frustration. So in my industry, what confuses people? They don't know what to post. I can tell them. They don't know how to make money online. I can give them a full list of everybody. I'm going to do that actually, who I meet here, traveling the world, and how they all make money being a digital nomad. Good idea? I'm going to create a list of that so people can like see what other people do. Let me share it again. So what frustrates them? Oh my God. They don't know how to make money online, or they want to be a coach, or they want to be an Amazon seller, or they just want to ditch their 9 to 5 job. They want to know at least how they can make at least an extra 1,000 a month, but then you know it doesn't matter whether they're a coach or an affiliate marketer. And what keeps coming up? Um, they don't follow systems. I can say that categorically in my academy to the people I absolutely love teaching, don't follow systems. I do not know anybody, sorry, I'm going to rephrase this. I do not have anybody who has done every single thing in that academy and done it, launched it, not made money. Haven't. People get obsessed even in my academy learning because it's good stuff, but you need to do it. And I want you to do it. Okay? And sometimes they're like, oh, please. Because you can get stuck in learning. So, guys, type into the chat, everybody right now, type into the chat what confuses your ideal buyer or what frustrates them and what keeps coming up. Type into the chat right now the people you want to sell to. Type into the chat. And there's people who are going to be watching this on record. So Sarah's typed how to get above a 7. So that's because you teach IELTS, teach English to people as a second language. What frustrates them? Changing rules. Lindsay, I disagree with you. People don't think about the changing rules. What frustrates them is the fact they cannot move to Spain. So they need your help to move to Spain. Guys, and I'm going to read these because this is going out. People will be watching this, and I want people to see natural classes and not just like me talking to myself. Leslie, confused by never-ending to-do lists. Oh my goodness. Guys, who wants to hire Leslie straight away? I've never heard her say that in a class. Who wants to hire Leslie to sort out your never-ending to-do lists? Hands up. I want to hire, there you go. I want to hire Leslie to go and do that. That is just like an unbelievable niche. John, they're afraid of the fees on eBay, thinking it's too much. I can't really answer that one, John, because I don't think eBay. I'm not sure. John, I would, John, if you don't mind being on camera, you can unmute yourself.
I think what it is, they're afraid of the fees. That's all they see. They just see, oh, I'm going to have to pay some fees. But they don't see the fact that they make a lot more money, so the fees are,
John, can I publicly tell people what you've done on eBay?
yeah.
Okay, John does over 100 grand a year on eBay. He has other shops and stuff like that, but on eBay. So I'm using John as an example here. However, John, so you really think that or you know that? I have a reason behind what's coming in a minute.
I've seen that in groups.
You see,
Fees
okay,
pop up all the time. I don't want
okay,
to pay fees. I
okay,
don't want an
fantastic.
eBay shop.
Okay, guys, can you see the difference now? Before John told me think, but he's now been in my academy as well, so he understands what was coming. You don't think what they want. You find out what they want. You find out their problem, and if they have a problem you can fix, then fix it and get paid for it. Don't imagine the problem. Invent the problem. You can invent the name of a disease that doesn't exist and create a cream and write the description. But anyway, thanks very much for that, John. So who else am I going to go in here? Teresa, my ideal client feels stuck. They're frustrated with the language and they hate the foreign bureaucracy, but they know it's necessary to live abroad. Okay, so I see two things in your message there. It's necessary to live abroad. Are you talking about somebody who's already moved abroad? So basically, if they feel stuck So basically, they just need a bit of help, do they not? Do you need help navigating your life and the language barriers? Guys, can you see how simple that is? Don't speak French and you need help navigating your life as an expat here? Step into my office. Teresa, can you see how simple? I like simplicity. I like Bob the Builder, Joe the Plumber, Mark the Sparky. Not really some private. Okay. Christine, you've put up what curriculum to use. They end up fighting their kids to do school homework. So, Christine, that's two totally different things, right? If you were selling them as digital products and they're together, things together, if people come and pay you to come in your own coaching group. So I'm just saying that because just to give you ideas when you go out there. Okay, guys, I'm now going to spotlight myself back on, and then I'm going to continue with this video. Got a couple more to go through. So here's where were we? So answer the question. So say somebody said to me, for example, right? And I put this in because of the viral group I have. Why is my Facebook group dead? I would say most groups decline because of identity drift, not algorithm. That sits inside buyer engineering. Again, I am not selling. Can you see my answer there? Some people say to me, oh, Nicola, why is my Facebook group dead? I'm just like, listen, that's just like an identity shift. Nothing to do with the algorithm or AI. Okay, that's a whole buyer engineering problem, you know? But can you fix it? Everybody expects me to say, oh, it's the algorithm. Oh, you're not saying this, you're not posting enough. I have just said this. That has that's made people go, hmm, can you see the difference? My answer here has made people lean in. I'm not selling, I'm just seeding. I can see Teresa making notes here. You can now see the difference. Make notes. I said that before I taught this class. Make notes. This is powerful. Powerful. Let me go on. The final principle. Actually, guys, let me go back here a little bit to answer this. So why is my Facebook group dead? Any question anybody answers me in business or for their business, or how can I get the customer to do this, or anything. For me, like being a business consultancy, any question, any problem somebody would give me in the business, I would give them the answer, and that answer would lead to them wanting to know what I was talking about, would then lead them into my world. That makes sense? So if I lead them into my world and I talk about things like I enjoy, and I enjoy business, I enjoy engineering things, then it makes it like really easy. So like, let me use an example a minute. We still have Lindsay online. So Lindsay's putting together a whole information pack so people can save, say, let's say 250 hours of your life trying to find this information online. Okay, so people asking questions online, she can say, oh, that's in such and such information pack where it goes into the detail of this, that, this, and it saves like hours of your life online. What is everybody going to ask if Lindsay says that in a post? going to remove the spotlight just so I can see Lindsay's face a bit there. Lindsay, can you see what I just did there? I seeded my reply. I mentioned a system, a product. I didn't sell it. I gave a benefit. So when you go on to all these Brexit groups or people, expats who want to come and live in Spain, their answer is inside that information pack. Oh, that's on page 17, where it covers dun dun dun, this, and you give a free bit of information. So you've just stopped them. Slap. Okay? So like a stop sign. Oh, that's in it's where? Yeah, and you can do that as well. Boom, opens a loop in the brain. Well, here's some information. You hook them in some more. That's why I said there's a lot more before the hook. So they're reading this. What do they want? They want your information pack. Just because of your answer. And you could go and play on Facebook all day. The same structure. Everybody can. And the ones who've known me from like very early on, where I used to show the experiments that I used to go and do in Facebook groups, and used to go in with some friends, we used to say, okay, let's go in and see who can get to £500 by the end of the day. Like the weekend, let's see who can go and do 5 grand. We used to go and play. It's engineered. Everything is engineered. And if I can get that into your head, so guys, okay, everything is not engineered. Okay, you could just go online and say what the hell you like. If you're going to go to Canva Prison and sign Canva Prison, then you need to engineer, because people are not going to read. Does that make sense? If you're just going to put written posts, they need to be engineered, because people are not going to read. If you can talk and speak engineered, boom. But if you actually just went and got a camera and just started doing 60-second reels and talked about this, people will want what you have. You don't even need to think about it. But if you just talked in a sequence, answered in a sequence. I answered today about 60 messages. My Facebook went crazy, you know, with DMs and stuff like that, and emails, and it makes me laugh. Because like I see people with like 1 million followers who nobody turns up to their online event and they don't make any money. And I'm just like, I think I got like 2 followers last week. No, it's like there's a whole engineering process. You don't be before all that. I have people reach out to me on, I'm not going to say this online, on some of the guru groups. And they go, Nicola, I've got like 500,000 followers. And I went, well, do you want a gold star? I'm really brutal. What do you want me to say? What do you want? Do you want me to help you? I'll help you for free. There you go. There's a full class and everything. Knock yourself out. Do they follow it? No. Guys, when you learn engineering, then like everything changes. And funnel seeding is amazing. And this is what people do before launches. Final principle. Funnels, word sequencing. It does not start at the checkout. It starts with language. So from now on, every post must do one of 3 things. It must build your reach, build an authority, and seed what you have. If a post doesn't do one of them, it does not go out. And that is how business works. And if you're always seeding, you don't need dramatic warm-ups. Your audience is already conditioned. And that's where the authority brands live. Now I'm going to ask you something sharp. Do you want to be someone who needs a 14-day drum roll every time you sell? I added this in before this class. Or somebody who can post, doors open, and people are ready to buy. There is no right or wrong answer here, just so you know, right? Before people start typing, there's no right or wrong answer. But this takes more energy. If you keep build reach, build authority, seed the ecosystem, people say, oh, Nicola, it's a lot of work. I'm going to be giving you a prompt in a minute, right, to use. Think about it. You can take one problem, have a post on it, make a Canva from it, and make a reel from it. That topic could go out on a Monday. So Monday was the Canva, next Monday was the normal post, next Monday was the reel. Who does stuff like that? People who normally run high ticket. It's spread out. Then you could, like, you all should have your posts engineered and running. You just make different versions of them. When would you not split all that out? If you were going to sell low ticket digital products, and say you had like 30 low ticket digital products to sell. So you're not like seeding information up to like an event or a launch or anything like that. Then you might change your whole social media to, okay, I'm going to do 4 posts a day. I'm going to bring people in. I'm going to show my authority. If you're going to show your authority, you can do it inside the post as well. I'm going to seed the ecosystem. And so what does that mean, seed the ecosystem? If I was doing this like just on one day, I would be, say I was selling digital products and I had 30 digital products to sell. So I would be seeding the posts all day. So like imagine I wanted to do I'm teaching now funnel seeding, right? So imagine my product at the end of the day was funnel seeding, okay? And people, it's quite funny me saying this because people will be watching this right now who could have already bought it, right? So in the morning, so I throw up a story, and that's the only thing I need to do manually that day is the story. And I need to get the story out before post 1. And that's all like through scheduling. So I build it once and it goes. So Monday I teach funnel seeding, right? But I don't call it funnel seeding because people don't know what it is, right? I would name it something else. So my story would go out, and then the first post would go out. So remember, guys, remember it says educate, inspire, nurture. I'm just reaching people in, showing my authority. But if I was going to seed in one day, I would do a story post because they disappear in 24 hours. So that would like warm up the algorithm. So that would be like really bringing people awareness to what, guys, wait, see what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you exactly how the gurus engineered 27.5 million by just the timing of the posts or by dropping seeds, whatever. And then I'd have a post after the story, which again, it can be educational, nurturing, inspire, whatever, but it needs to run in the sequence of, you need to bring people in, you need to open the loop in the brain. You have all this information, the ones who are in the academy. I would then have another post, but each of them would mention, say it was funnel seeding, whatever I call it, or the 27 million launch secret. So I would be feeding them educational content, and you do this, and that was what was done in the 27 million launch secret sequence. And then I could educate them and go or inspire them, and this was done in the. So basically I'm dropping a couple of posts and mentioning the product. So by the time they get to the end of the day, or maybe the next morning, the option to actually buy that product comes up on their feed. And it's like, oh, that's what she was talking about yesterday. That's what she was talking about. And now she's selling it because I programmed the brain. And that's how every low ticket digital product seller sells something nearly every day, by funnel seeding. That makes sense? Now, do you all realize why you've probably spent a lot of money and you're sitting with like stuff in your emails and your Google Drives that you've never opened because your brain's been psychologically processed? So it's like anything, you know. It's like let's say Mike's came online now, so like Mike's going to go. His music school is now like completely full. He's going to go now open a music shop and then going to move to the online business. But using everything about buyer psychology and stuff and all the sales calls, right? Mike can take all the sequencing he knows and speak to people who come face to face in his shop to make sure they either go out 100% seated or 100% with a guitar in their hand and have purchased. Systems, online or offline. It's all this. You can see my face. I love it because I've done this my whole life. And let me go on. I think we're nearly finished here. So you're always seeding, right? And so there's an extra lesson here. Always on seeding via launch. So I want to clarify something. Many people think warming up for 2 weeks before a launch is a strategy. It's not. There's two layers. You're always seeding. This never stops. Repeat the frameworks, repeat your phrases, repeat your beliefs, repeat the core problems, repeat the mechanism, repeat the identity we're building. This is ambient conditioning. Repeat everything you do 7 days a week. Get the posts, get them up, right? It means our audience hears the same language over again. Nothing feels random, nothing feels new, nothing feels forced. By the time we go to sell, they're there. They recognize it. So this is always running in the background, right? So it's like Bianca, she's, oh, this such and such happened with a client. Well, that's it. I'm the breakthrough queen and I do such and such and then go back into, she's okay. It's all about seeding. It's exactly the same in sales calls. That's exactly why I can get people to like constantly like buy anything. And launched layer two, it's a bit like temporary. This is when posting increases. So stories would increase, proof would increase, invitations would increase, like scarcity, like you're running out of time. And this is not random hype, guys. This is engineered processes, especially for people who want to launch something in 2 weeks. Low ticket people do this in one day if they're selling a low ticket product every day. Sometimes they can like do all the seeding and then launch it for sale the next day and then give some more motivational stuff and more seeding. So they could like send something to buy maybe every second day. Does that make sense? To give people time to consume. Everything is an engineered process, right? What else do I have here? Strong brands run both. Why do beginners get this wrong, right? Because you copy the launch behavior. You don't understand everything that goes before it. And this is so important. And I mean, I see so much. This is why there was like that girl who had like 1 million followers, and I think it was last year, nobody ended up in her online event. And this is why I have like multiple coaches and stuff like that who are in like some big masterminds and stuff like that who have like 500,000 people following them and they can't get anybody to buy from them. They've done a really good job of reaching out, but they've not went deep. They think they know to get people to buy, but they don't. And once you've done this once, you just keep doing it again and again and again. So Beginners do this. They might post 3 times a day. They stack stories, then suddenly they sell hard. But they never installed like the proper vocabulary first. And that's like constantly repeating, bringing like, does anybody know the word in English? We call it sound bites. So politicians use it, okay? And when they like their manifesto, when they're doing a campaign, they talk in sound bites. So they say they leave breadcrumbs. They drop all this information, right? But they drop one-liners, 2 or 3 words, 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 2 or 3 words. Okay. Why do you think the timeshare industry was so busy? Why do you think lots of people got, and they're not all bad, just so you know. Why do you think there was this big, there's a big thing in Spain, Tenerife, where they got sued and stuff like that? Because when they got people to sit at the table, everything was discussed. So it was like the answer yes, 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 answer yes, live in the sun, holiday in the sun, answer yes, answer yes, answer yes. Talked about this product, answer yes, answer yes. So they built a whole story with a couple of free vodkas and wines as well as the day went on. So by the time it came to go in front of them, and it was like, why would I not sign? I've been saying yes all day. Your brain is programmed. You only need to build this once, schedule it. Okay, I'm nearly done here. So where was I here? So the beginners make the mistake and then the audience feels surprised. Surprise creates resistance, and this is why the launch fails. They copied like the compression part at the beginning. They skipped the whole conditioning of the system. So always unseating, always compression equals immediate buyer. So when you see someone post doors open and people buy instantly, it's not because of the post. They could have been seeding for 30 to 60 days. Does this make sense? Type yes in the chat. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Does this make sense now when you see like something launching or a new movie on cinema or like Netflix or something like that? There is a run up to get what it wants. The plane needs to go on the runway before it can go up. The plant needs a seed before it can grow. If you just built a content bank, at least you could seed your people. For the ones who are I'm going to talk to some of the beginners who have come in, not the people who are established, making money multiple ways, but the ones who are a little bit at the beginning, people call it imposter syndrome, icky, whatever, then seed. Don't just educate, inspire, nurture. Seed. Give your program a name. Give your product a name. So when Mike gets his, I'm going to use Mike because he's going to have a music shop soon. So when Mike gets his music shop, he needs to have a name for it. As soon as he 100% knows he's got that music shop, the posting begins. Even before he maybe has it yet, it might be another couple of weeks. Everything he should talk about should also say the music shop, not just bang the music shop on people's brain. Oh my goodness, I was with this kid today. You want to see what it was like with the guitar? Oh, it's going to be amazing once I open the music shop. Mike's Music Store Extravaganza, Mike's Music Store, 69th Street. Anyway, this kid, can you see how I've just seeded? Does that make sense, what I just did there? I just seeded Mike's business in his post. I keep repeating myself because I understand how difficult this can be. That's why I've created a whole prompt so you don't even need to think, but I prefer you to understand it. So right now, are you always seeding or are you only switching when you want to sell? That difference can change everything, but you need to seed. You can't just sell. And that's how business actually works. Does that make sense, guys? That you can do your posts, you can do everything, especially the ones in the academy who have access to the AI vault, especially the ones in the academy who have access to that completely secret sequence I sent you that shows you a hook is not a hook. There's a whole story in front of it. And it sits in folder 11 at the moment, the miscellaneous folder. It's not filed anywhere yet. So can you see, if you have your posts and you're seeding, dropping the information to your product, when you put something up to buy it, then it's natural. So when you see a concert and they say, oh, look at him online, he's now playing in Barcelona, Ed Sheeran, tickets will be on sale soon. You will see Ed Sheeran videos drop everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, billboards, everywhere. Why? To condition the brain. So when the doors open, oh, doors open, we already conditioned. So imagine you with one product, one niche, one system. You can do multiple things later. And your posts are scheduled and they go out. You just build a scheduling system and they go out. And they constantly go out. And anything else you do live, or whatever it is, additions. And they go out in sequences and they go out and they go out. Now, there are more advanced AI things and all that coming in just now where you can use like offline tables and you can read it and I can show you how to do other stuff online and change them and everything. But for now, it's the same practice. So what do I have for you here, right? I'm going to share this from this page to make sure it goes through before we stop. So this is what I'm teaching just now, right? And this is called funnel seeding private. Why? Because it has my private stuff in it. And this is in a completely private file. This is why it says copy. So if anybody ever tries to copy this Google Drive link who's watching this video, because my PDFs and everything will always come as an extra price because it's easier. So let me go in here. I have just done funnel seeding, right? What I have here is I have prompts we used to put into AI. I have a little map, a little basic 30-day content calendar, and a copy of a worksheet. I'll just show you very, very quickly. So here's the implementation, and the ones in the academy can use this on top of whatever you have got from the AI prompt. And this is gold, right? And the ones who don't have access to the academy, this is still gold. It's still like an 80% output. So now this says week 1, but you could be day 1, day 2. It's just to give you an example. So you could introduce the surface problems of what you do, give a light authority, and a one soft seed mention. So again, I'm going to use Lindsay as an example at the moment, just because she got roasted at the beginning. Surface problem. Expats want to move to Spain. They don't, I want to move to Spain, but this Brexit, I don't want to spend months of my life. I don't have time trying to find out this information. That's a big problem. Can people agree? Guys, hands up so I can see you. Can people agree that is a big problem for at the moment? And Lindsay has a great niche. Fab. We all agree with that, right? And then what would Lindsay then do? She could then say, listen, guys, I have lived in Spain for 30 years. I'm dealing with people who have these problems or, who can't move to Spain, la la la. So she gives another post, educational, nurture, inspire, but she throws in the authority there, right? I've lived here for 30 years. I know you want to leave the UK and come and live in Spain. I know what you need, right? She doesn't even need to say, I know what you need. She can just give a bit of authority and a bit of education, or a bit of nurturing, a bit of inspiration, but drop the authority, because dropping the authority in the post is like, oh, okay. And then she could do another post. So when you need to move to Spain, one of the most important things is you have certain visas, non-lucrative visa, that means you can't work, and you have a digital nomad visa, so you can work online, but there's a percentage of people who don't realize that you can only work for, I think, I can't remember, 5%, 10% of Spanish companies. And I covered all this because I saved people nearly 200 hours and I created this implementation, this information pack. Anyway, guys, you can move to Spain. There are multiple options. Did I sell Lindsay's information pack? No. I could call it the Move to Spain, the Expat Move to Spain information pack. Did I sell it? Yes or no? No, I didn't sell it. Did I sell Mike's music shop when I mentioned it before? No, I just seeded. But what else? Well, what else will Mike win more than anybody in the whole world? His experience. Why do I bring people? Why do people come and pay me who don't like or follow anything? Because they're too embarrassed. Because they have thousands of people following them online and don't make any money. And because they know, I know what I know. Because I'm the ex-CEO to Gurus. So I know more than a lot of what's out there. Agreed? It's all a system. And I want you to use it. So I've gave you like basically a very, very simple implementation map. You can do it week one or you can do it day one, 3 posts a day. I've just done it there to make it a little bit easier to begin. And the minimum 7 mentions of a method name over 30 days. If you really are going to do this, then minimum once a day. Do this over 7 days, 3 posts a day over 7 days then. And just schedule them so they go up all the time. Before you post anything, guys, even the ones in the academy who have access to the AI vault, we still need to think with human brains. AI is not perfect. Does this build reach? Is this post going to bring me in reach? If not, okay. But does it build authority? Okay. Does this seed the ecosystem? Does this support ascension into the academy, your coaching, your product? Right? If no, it doesn't do any of these, then don't post it. If there's no reason to like people to come and see this, if it's not going to show any thought of authority, if it doesn't even mention what you do somewhere. So imagine this is a whole day, one whole day, or one whole week. If you don't cover this in a week, then what are you doing? I don't mean to be rude, I'm being very serious. Does that make sense? If you don't cover that, what are you doing? Waving your hand in the air? So at the end of 30 days, and I've done this really easy, like, but if you're going to go strong, some people go strong. Has the audience heard the method name multiple times? So everybody who wants to take this slow, think about over a month. Has your audience heard your product multiple times? Have they seen the mechanism explained a bit? Do they understand like the the belief shift on what you do? Have they experienced countless repetition? If yes, then a launch will feel natural. If no, consider continue seeding. If you did all this for 30 days, would you feel happy putting a date out to your masterclass, your challenge, your event, your low ticket product? If you did it for 70, you wouldn't do this for a low ticket $7 product. But if you cannot implement these things, what are you doing? And you can say, I promise this year I'd be a little bit more brutal. Okay, so we have a couple more. Guys, I'm going to switch over. Does everybody see what I've switched over to? Because sometimes that doesn't work on Zoom. Can you see, can you see the copy of worksheet here at the top? Yep, because sometimes, so I've not showed you the prompt yet. That's the implementation map. And then there is a very basic here, like kind of seeding structure. It's so simple. It's like tracking. Was a name mentioned? Was a framework mentioned? Like, look, it's only like it's one page. Another beginner level post-it ID. And I've done this so simply. Why? Because I need you to seed. There's so many people who are educating, nurturing, inspiring, and only think of call to actions, but they're not ready. But you need to seed and seed forever. So that's why you need to name what you do. And that's why one of the classes the other week and why I say, you know, there was this company, well, there's multiple times, and they had this cream and they couldn't sell it. So they invented a disease. They invented a disease name. And then they wrote blogs, which went all over the world. And each of those blogs explained a condition, problem that people had. And then the only product that fixed that condition was their cream. La-la. But when they explain the problems, people are reading it and going, oh, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. So when they launch a product, and when they search for this product, the seeded name, the only thing they find is the blogs, the posts that that company wrote. So the only solution to that problem is that company's product. Does that make sense? Can you see you can take this with any business, any niche? It's golden, honestly. So where am I? I've got one more to show you. For the people who are ever watching this on a digital download, and you're thinking, what is she looking at? It's 20 to 3 in the morning here in Thailand. I'm traveling the world. I'm teaching at this time in the middle of the night. So where am I? I have done copy seeding. I've done the content calendar. I've showed you the map. There's a worksheet there. Very, very simple, guys, for you to fill in. But I've done this, even though I'm giving you prompts, I've done this because I want you to also use your brain. Okay? It's really important to still use your brain. So what have I done here? Prompt. These are the prompts you will copy and you will paste and you can use them straight for the people who are watching this on a digital download who have got it. And you'll get like 70–80% of the stuff. The people in the academy, you will want to use your AI vault first, get those products, get those posts, and then once you have it, you can put them through this. But you can also put them through the whole pattern interrupt thing as well, just to give you literally a 95%. So prompt one, here are the prompts. You're my business clarity assistant, and this goes through the whole part, right? So even though you have all this, I will get you to plug into your AI. You will prompt it and it will ask you all these things, even though you put in your stuff, right? And it has a bonus here for students. You can just copy the whole lot in because you have your avatar. So the AI will need this prompt before it can do prompt 2. We take it through steps because I understand how the brains work of the AI, right? And then prompt 2, this is the gold. And it has critical rules. Do not generate. So you are my content conditioning strategist, right? This is an important thing. Do not generate any content until all required inputs are provided and validated. So I'm stopping you from putting out poop. If anything is missing, stop and ask clearly. So it needs all these things, right? Or little bits of it. And then it needs a validation step. And then it's getting you build a 30-day funnel seeding. That's just sequence post. It's just wording that conditions my audience to buy without random posting. Guys, how is that? I'm giving you stuff that you can do once to condition your audience to stop you random posting. Does that sound good? Okay. Do you know how long this took me to build this class? A while, right? Like about 2 weeks. Where am I? So we have like the validation steps, we have the goals, and here are some rules. Simple English, my voice, every post must be SEO king, right? So the first sentence must contain a strong searchable keyword phrase. Why have I put that there? Because the algorithms keep changing so much. Hashtags on, hashtags off, no hashtags, yes hashtags, loads of hashtags, 20 now, 5. SEO is king. So in the first bit, and you can just get this once, right? Where am I? So every post must follow the sequence pattern interrupt. I want the brain open. I want the brain stopped. Sorry, open the loop. Then a truth. Then a mechanism. Then a proof. Forward pulled. I have some things. No hyphens, no quotation marks. Use numerals for numbers. Never write save this or share this. And always embed my authority naturally if relevant. So you need to put that in. So I am building a whole, no, I'm going to say this, I am building a multi-million low-ticket digital product business. John, do you see how I just said that? Because that's what I'm building and that's what it will be. Why? Because I will engineer it to be that. Because I love coaching this much. Guys, I might think through another small people over the next year or so in that, but I don't want to sit in front of 5,000 people. But so I know exactly what I'm going to do with the low ticket on this. So let's go on. Always the ladder towards ascension means going up. Post must rotate between the reach, authority, and cedar. Reach means beginner pain, relatable surface struggle. Authority means mechanism, structure, pattern recognition, and proof. Cedar means introduce. So the output, create a 30-day calendar table with the day, the post, type, reach, authority, cedar. So this is a multiple thing in one post. Primary CEO keyword phrases, post topic, vocabulary seed to repeat CTA style. Output 2, create 12 ready post examples, 4 reach, 4 authority, 4 cedar. Each must follow the required sequence. Each must end with a forward pull. Output 3, create one stacked promotion day for my £7 offer. I've done this just to make it simple so you can play and try this. Morning reach, midday authority, late afternoon, plus 3 story prompts to warm up the day. Final step, after producing everything, ask, what keyword cluster should dominate the next 30 days? Now wait for all required inputs. All you need to do is follow everything in this funnel seeder. If you have in the Academy access to the AI Vault. For the people watching this on digital who have purchased this as a low ticket, I'll be very blunt. You need to pay to get access to the AI Vault. What's coming also is a whole access to my engineered brain that people will be getting access to in levels. Unless you're in the academy, then you get in. But can you now see that you can engineer everything? But you need to put in a bit of work first. Now do you understand why people launch and how they launch the sequence? Now do you understand why they drop seats? Everything is an amazing engineer process. Okay? Guys, for the purpose of this recording, I am now going to press stop because this is a digital product. And I believe this is such high scale that questions and answers must be limited to VIP members inside my academy who have watched me record this. And the people watching this on a digital download might be thinking, oh, just send me access. Just send me a message to get it. So guys, thank you very much. And I'm going to stop the recording.